Nations General Assembly will vote today on a draft resolution calling for an immediate, unconditional, and permanent ceasefire in Gaza. The resolution introduced by Spain is expected to pass with overwhelming support, even from countries that traditionally back Israel. It comes ahead of a major UN conference next week aimed at reviving talks on a two-state solution. The draft also demands unrestricted humanitarian access and strongly condemns the use of starvation and the denial of aid as methods of war. Israel's UN ambassador Danny Danon has dismissed the vote as a politically motivated and counterproductive charade. He argues the resolution fails to condemn Hamas for the October 7, 2023 attacks or for using civilian sites as shields. Danon also criticizes the text for creating moral equivalence between Hamas hostages and Palestinian detainees, and accuses it of ignoring Israeli efforts to deliver aid, which he says is often stolen by Hamas. The United States has urged nations not to support the resolution or attend next week's peace conference. Israel's military reported arresting Hamas members near Damascus, Syria today. Syrian state TV said 1 Syrian was killed and 7 were detained during this operation. The incident marks a rare Israeli ground action in Syrian territory amid ongoing regional tensions. Now we are joined by Ali M. Abushbak. He's an independent Palestinian researcher. He's joining us from Cairo. Thank you, Ali, for joining us today. If the UN General Assembly overwhelmingly backs this resolution, what real impact can it have on the ground, given it's non-binding?
Thank you, Osama, for having me. The thing is such kind of solution. It's held by everyone. Everyone has a conscience remain conscious about what is happening in Gaza. But on the ground, Palestine is not optimistic about such kind of resolution, especially Israel has never adhered to the United Nations resolution. We have witnessed there is the resolution 2334 with regarding in 2016 with regard to Israeli settlement, and they consider it is illegal in the Palestinian territories. But still, Israel showing that it doesn't have any ability to accept the international community decision or resolution, and also the resolution 242 about two-state solution. Israel never ever let the Palestinians to establish their statehood. So on the ground, Israel is not going to apply or accept any resolution to stop the war. And this is the big elephant on the room. Benjamin Netanyahu and his far-right wing coalition, it seems that they are ignoring everything. And we have witnessed last week's and yesterday that the international community, and especially British and Canada and Australia and etc., they condemn and they are put a sanction on the Itamar Ben-Gvir and Smotrich. But it seems that the Israelis ministry doesn't care, and it sounds like tomato. So the thing is, on the ground, it's not to clarify up to now as Israel is ready and they have what you call some person is serious to hold the war in Gaza or no. This is on one side. On other side, Palestinians still suffering, and we have witnessed that every international community condemned the Israelis. Prohibited the Palestinians to receive the humanitarian aid and attacking the people who's gathering to take their humanitarian aid or take their quota from the humanitarian aid. Despite all of this condemnation and despite all of this action and in the movement on the ground, Israel ignored these things. So it seems that Israel is not ready, it's not serious to stop the war in Gaza, and it seems that Israel is not ready to stop the killing machine. And the justification, it's ready for the Israel. They have the right to defend themselves, but also we have to understand that the mentality of the Israeli military is they are ready to heal the war or no. So this is the significant question. And about everyone accepted, and even Hamas agreed uh, uh, to release the hostages and the captive in one way. I mean, in all the captive in one agree. I mean, in one deal. So this is the main question. Is Israel ready for these things or no? Is Israel ready to withdraw from the Palestinian territories that they occupied after March, when they resumed the war after 18th of March, when they resumed the war in Gaza, and for one day, the day one, they killed around 200 Palestinians, most of them civilians, and beside them also some leader from Hamas or no. Meanwhile, also on Israel, in Israel, on the street, there is a several of march, and there is a several of a protest demanding to stop the war and end the war. If Benjamin Netanyahu, heard this protest or no, this is the significant question. But about United Nations Security Council, the decision and resolution, I guess I'm not optimist, because Israel have even never showing that they are adhere to the international community or international law or international ethicals about the war. And we have witnessed several of Israelis war crime in Gaza. They are using the food as a weapon in Gaza. So this is the main things. So if Israel has some ethicals to accept the international community decision or no, or it will ignore as usual, as what I mentioned, that resolution 2334 or 242, or a several list of the justic resolution that equal giving a resolution between Palestinian and Israel to end the conflict, or to support the peace process between Palestinian and Israel. Tomorrow there is a peace conference in France between the Palestinians former foreign Nasser al-Qudwa, and also Ehud Olmert, the former prime minister, Israeli former prime minister, to support and post the peace process. I hope there is, and to support also the two-state solution and giving the Palestinian right to establish their statehood and for self-determination. Benjamin Netanyahu never accept this equation, because Benjamin Netanyahu, from the day one when he became a politician, he giving a promise will not let the Palestinian to establish their statehood. So this is the significant question, Osama.
And Ali, you have already mentioned that your kind of pessimism about this, the resolution of UN. Does the draft's failure to explicitly condemn Hamas for the October 7th, 2023 attacks weaken its legitimacy or moral weight, according to you?
I guess we bypassed this point about condemnation Hamas attack, and there is no one accepted to be as civilians as the casualties. So either this, it will condemn Hamas, and this is not a significant issue. I guess the significant issue to hold the war. I guess to hold the war. The significant issue is not who's we should blame whom and whom. The significant issue to stop the war in Gaza, to hold the killing machine. Either the United Nations, they will condemn Hamas, or they will put the allegation toward Hamas. This is not the big elephant in the room. The big elephant is to stop the war, to stop killing machine, and to stop the people who's suffering from the starvation, the famine, suffering from finding secure their daily food. So this is the significant issue, and this is what we should concern about. I guess we went behind the condemnation and putting the allegation on which side, or which from Hamas or Israel, and who's committed a mistake or etc. etc. We must save what is remain from humanitarian in Gaza or in Israel, as well as we should focus on the peace process instead of putting the allegation. It will not make any sense. Even Hamas, we condemn Hamas or we condemn Israel. It will not put any difference. It will not make any sense about these things. The main things and the initial things we must look forward the peace process and about talk between Palestinian and Israel and how this war immediately now or never it will not be. I mean, up to when this killing and the casualties from civilians and suffering and humiliating the people on the ground, up to when it will be extending. This is the main things. We have to save what is remain of a humanity character in the Palestinian as well as Israeli. We have to focus on the peace narrative instead of looking for, forgive me for this description, for silly issue. This is the significant issue we must look forward it.
Thank you, Ali M. Abushbak. He's an independent